All right, so we're prepping for a mechanical engineering drafter interview,
Yeah.
which is really exciting.
Yeah. It's a really cool job.
I've
And
got a stack of RoleCatcher guides here,
mhm,
ready to kind of help unpack all this.
awesome.
Um,
A lot of people might think it's just about drawing, but it's a lot more than that.
yeah.
You're the bridge between the big engineering ideas
Yeah.
and the actual, like, tangible product,
So it's less about like artistic skill and more about knowing how to like make it work in the real world.
Exactly. Yeah. And speaking of making things work, one of the role catcher guides
Okay.
really emphasizes how important math skills are.
Oh, interesting.
For a mechanical drafter, you're dealing with precise calculations for dimensions,
Right.
tolerances, stress analysis even.
Wow.
It's all rooted in math.
That makes total sense.
Yeah,
Especially like to make sure things are safe and reliable.
absolutely.
So let's dive into these interview questions.
Okay,
We're pulling these straight from RoleCatcher, so these are the real deal.
let's do it.
So first up,
Okay.
can you describe your experience with 3D modeling and drafting software?
Yeah, you don't want to show them you're stuck in the past.
Definitely not.
You're up to date on
Yeah.
the latest and greatest.
Don't just list out a bunch of software names,
Yeah.
though.
Right.
Tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what program really clicked for you?
Yeah, what project made you feel like a CAD wizard?
Yeah, exactly.
That passion and genuine interest shines through.
For sure.
Make sure your enthusiasm comes through for the tools.
Okay, cool. So next up, we've got,
Okay.
how do you ensure accuracy and precision in your drafting work?
Sounds pretty basic, but I bet they're looking for a certain mindset here.
Yeah.
It's that commitment to getting it right.
Right.
A tiny error on a drawing could lead to massive problems down the line.
Yeah, for sure.
So how do you go above and beyond to make sure your drawings are flawless?
Maybe talk about some techniques.
Yeah.
Or like double-checking habits.
Absolutely.
That shows you're obsessed with details.
Yeah, and be ready for follow-up questions too.
Okay.
They might ask, have you ever had a drawing error slip through?
Oh, yeah.
How did you handle it?
Okay.
They want to see that you learn from your mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have systems in place to catch those errors early.
Okay, great.
All right.
Can you describe a time when you had to troubleshoot a design issue and how you resolved it?
The classic, tell me about a time you failed, question in disguise.
Right.
But this is your chance to shine.
Yeah.
So pick a design challenge you faced.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be a massive
It
failure.
doesn't have to be like the end of the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Even a small hiccup.
Mm-hmm.
How did you approach the problem? What did you learn from it?
Yeah.
They want to see that you can think critically,
Right.
that you're not just mindlessly following instructions.
For sure.
They push you for details.
Mm.
Walk them through the process.
Okay.
Did you do calculations, simulations?
Mm-hmm.
Collaborate with others. The more specific, the better.
Okay. Love it. Yeah, this one might sound a bit intimidating.
Okay.
Can you describe your experience with GD&T?
Okay.
And for everyone at home, that stands for geometric dimensioning and tolerancing.
Don't let the jargon scare you.
Right.
GD&T is key for making sure things fit together perfectly in the real world. It's like a universal language that tells the manufacturer exactly how much wiggle room there is in the measurements.
So even if you don't have a ton of experience with it,
Right.
show that you understand why it's important.
Exactly.
Even like basic knowledge can impress.
Yeah, even better.
Yeah.
Give an example of how you applied those principles in a project.
Oh, okay.
Even if it was a simple one.
Yeah.
You can walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
Right. Show that you've actually used it.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Next up,
All right.
can you describe your experience with design for manufacturability?
So this is thinking beyond the drawing board
Yeah.
into the real world. Can you design something that can actually be built efficiently and cost effectively?
Yeah.
That's what they want to know.
So like talk about times you had to think about the materials,
Absolutely.
like the assembly process, all those factors.
Yeah, you can impress them by connecting this back to GD&T.
Oh.
I always make sure to apply those GD&T principles to make sure the design can be manufactured
Right,
within the specified tolerances.
Mm-hmm.
Minimize waste and rework, save time and money.
Yeah, it all comes full circle.
Exactly.
Okay, before we move on to more questions,
Okay.
I kind of want to touch on RoleCatcher's AI.
Yeah.
I know we've talked about it a little bit before, but it really is like a game changer.
It's amazing the way it analyzes your resume.
Yeah.
Against specific job descriptions, it's like having an expert recruiter scan your resume and tell you exactly what's grabbing their attention
And what's not.
and what's making them yawn.
Like maybe you're missing some keywords
Right.
or haven't
Mhm.
highlighted a certain skill that they're looking for.
Mm.
And this AI feedback can really point that out.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't stop there.
No, it doesn't.
It can also give you AI feedback on your interview answers
Oh, wow.
to help tailor them to certain jobs.
That's awesome.
So like imagine pasting a job description into RoleCatcher
Yeah.
and then getting personalized suggestions for each question.
That's amazing.
Like that is power.
That's incredible.
Okay, so back to the question.
Okay, more questions.
Can you describe your experience working with interdisciplinary teams, such as designers, engineers, and manufacturers?
So this is all about those communication and collaboration skills.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to talk the talk.
Yeah.
Share examples of how you effectively communicate with different personalities,
Wow.
areas of expertise.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to mediate a disagreement
Oh, interesting.
or find a creative compromise?
Okay.
This is where you really showcase your ability to listen,
Yeah.
understand different perspectives, and find solutions that work for everyone.
Yeah, for sure.
And be prepared for a follow-up.
Okay.
Tell me about a time you had to communicate a complex technical issue to someone with a non-technical background.
Oh,
Really tests your ability to explain things clearly and make sure everyone's on the same page.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So time management is up next.
Okay.
Can you describe a time when you had to work under tight deadlines and how you managed your time effectively?
Don't just tell them you're good at meeting deadlines.
Right.
Give them a concrete example.
Yeah.
Describe the project, the timeline, the challenges you faced,
Mm-hmm.
the specific steps you took to stay organized. Did
Yeah.
you create a detailed schedule?
Yeah.
Break down tasks into smaller chunks.
Mhm.
They might even ask, how do you prioritize tasks when you have multiple projects with competing deadlines?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, really digging deep into those organizational skills.
Yeah, for sure.
And your ability to juggle those multiple responsibilities.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right. So this one hints at leadership potential. Can you describe your experience with project management, such as creating schedules and managing resources?
Even if you haven't had a formal project management title,
Right.
think about times when you took initiative,
Yeah.
organized tasks, helped the team stay on track,
Mm-hmm.
maybe led a group project in school,
Yeah.
organized a volunteer effort.
Okay.
Connect those skills back to the specific needs of a drafting role.
Okay.
I'm great at creating detailed project plans, breaking down complex tasks, and carefully tracking progress, which is essential for ensuring accurate and timely completion of drawings.
Love it. All right. 2 more questions in this first batch.
Okay, 2 more.
Can you describe your experience with the designing and drafting for assemblies and sub-assemblies?
This is all about the complexity of multi-part design.
Mhm.
Can you handle it?
Yeah.
Have you worked on projects where you had to consider how different components fit together,
Right.
they move and interact?
Yeah.
Talk about specific projects where you had to represent all those details in your drawings. If you've used any specific techniques for assembly modeling or exploded views, now's the time to mention them.
Okay.
Showing off those advanced skills can really set you apart.
Got it. Okay. And finally, the last question in this set.
All right, last one.
Can you describe your experience with product lifecycle management software?
This one might throw some people off.
Yeah. What is that?
So product lifecycle management, or PLM software, is all about managing a product from its very beginning to its eventual retirement.
Okay.
It's a powerful tool for collaboration, version control, and keeping track of design changes.
Got it.
So even if your PLM experience is limited,
Right.
highlight any exposure you've had.
Mm-hmm.
Emphasize your willingness to learn new software quickly.
Okay.
You can turn a potential weakness into a strength by saying something like,
Okay.
while my experience with, whatever specific software it is limited, I'm a fast learner and I'm eager to gain proficiency in any software used by your company.
Yeah.
Always show them that you're adaptable and ready to learn.
That's great advice. Okay. Wow. We just tackled 10 key interview questions.
We did.
But that's just the start of our deep dive.
That's right.
Next, we'll take a look at what comes after you land the job.
Okay.
What exciting career paths await a mechanical engineering drafter?
And of course, we'll keep weaving in those AI-powered insights from RoleCatcher
Yes.
to help you make smart choices
Love it.
and move your career forward. Stay tuned.
Right. See you.
See you next time. Welcome back. So hopefully you're feeling a lot more prepared to tackle those interview questions.
Yeah.
But the journey doesn't end there.
Right.
Landing the job is just the first step.
It's all about what you do with it once you get your foot in the door.
Exactly. So let's talk about where this role can take you.
Okay.
What does the career path look like for a mechanical engineering drafter?
Yeah. Where can you go from here?
Well, RoleCatcher's career guide lays out some interesting possibilities.
Okay.
With experience and ongoing learning, you could move up to a senior drafter position, handle more complex projects, maybe even mentor junior drafters.
So those leadership skills we talked about would come in handy.
Absolutely. And if you find yourself drawn to the design side of things, transition to design engineer is definitely possible.
Right.
You'd be using your drafting skills, but also taking on more responsibility in the overall design process.
So instead of just creating the drawings based on someone else's vision,
Yeah.
you're kind of coming up with it from scratch.
Exactly. And here's another path that might surprise you.
Okay.
Project management.
Oh, wow.
If you have that knack for leadership and enjoy organizing teams and resources,
Yeah.
a career as a project manager could be a great fit.
I can totally see how all those organizational and communication skills would be so important there.
It's all about figuring out what truly excites you
Yeah.
and playing to your strength to find the path that best suits your interests.
Love it.
But no matter which direction you choose,
Okay.
there's one key ingredient for success in this field:
What's that?
continuous learning.
Oh, that's so important,
Yeah.
especially in a field where the technology is always changing.
Yes, new software, new techniques, new trends.
It's hard to keep up.
It's a lot to keep up with.
Yeah.
You need to be proactive and embrace those changes.
So how do you do that?
Well, think of it this way. If you're just keeping pace with the technology everyone else is using,
Right.
you're only meeting the bare minimum.
Okay.
But if you're consistently pushing yourself to learn those cutting-edge tools,
Yeah.
that's where you truly shine.
You become like the expert.
Exactly. You become the innovator, the expert that everyone turns to.
Yeah.
And those are the people who really make a difference and advance their careers.
So make time for professional development.
Yes. Attend conferences, take online courses, get certifications in specialized areas, and don't underestimate the power of networking.
Right.
Connecting with other professionals in the field can open doors to opportunities you never even imagined.
What are some ways to do that?
Well, there are organizations like the American Society of Mechanical Engineers.
Or the American Design Drafting Association. They offer tons of resources from online forums and publications to local chapter meetings and national conferences.
So you can really connect with people who are already doing it.
It's a fantastic way to connect with experts, learn from their experiences, share ideas, and build relationships that can last a lifetime.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of building relationships and leveraging resources,
Okay.
let's kind of circle back to RoleCatcher and their AI.
Yes.
It's not just about acing the interview.
Right.
It's about strategically managing your whole career.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher can really help you do that.
Yeah, I love that it goes way beyond interview prep.
It's like a command center for your entire career journey.
Yeah. What else can you do with it?
You can use it to track your progress, set goals, even research potential employers,
Okay.
and see how your skills match up with their needs.
So you can kind of see like what companies are hiring for what. Imagine being able to see what companies are actively hiring for specific roles.
Yeah.
Understand what skills they're prioritizing, even get a feel for their company culture.
Wow.
All in one place.
That's amazing.
It takes all the guesswork out of career planning.
Yeah.
Empowers you to make informed decisions about your future.
And there's one more feature I really love.
What's that?
It can connect you with mentors in your field.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
It's like having a personal board of advisors.
It's like having a personal board of advisors who have already walked the path you're on.
Exactly.
They can offer invaluable guidance as you navigate your career, helping you avoid pitfalls and seize opportunities.
That is amazing. So it's really not just about getting that first job.
Right.
It's about building a successful and fulfilling career.
Absolutely.
You're excited about.
That aligns with your passions and ambitions.
Yeah.
And with tools like RoleCatcher, it feels like anything is possible. The possibilities are endless. But before we get too caught up in the excitement of landing that dream job and mapping out your entire career trajectory,
Right.
let's step back and focus on the here and now.
Okay, good point.
What does a mechanical engineering drafter actually do on a daily basis?
Yeah.
What's their typical work environment like?
Let's talk about that in the final part of our deep dive.
Stay tuned.
All right, so welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the world of the mechanical engineering drafter.
Yeah, it's time to really get into what it looks like to actually have this job.
Yeah, what does your day-to-day look like? What's the environment?
Yeah, so you're typically going to be working in an office setting.
Okay.
Think Engineering firms, manufacturing companies, maybe even architectural firms.
Okay.
Well-lit spaces, probably pretty quiet,
Right.
with desks or workstations decked out with computers running the latest drafting software.
So not quite the dusty old drafting boards that you see in the movies.
No, not anymore. Although understanding those fundamental drafting techniques is still valuable.
Right.
It's like having a strong foundation to build upon.
Yeah, for sure. Um, it seems like this role could involve a lot of like solo work,
Mm-hmm.
really focused on those detailed drawings. Is it a pretty isolated job?
Actually, collaboration is a huge part of this role.
Okay.
You'll be constantly interacting with a whole team of professionals.
Okay.
Mechanical engineers, of course, to make sure you're accurately capturing their design intent.
Yeah.
And that's where those communication skills we talked about earlier are really critical.
Yeah, for sure.
You might also be working with designers, manufacturers, even project managers
Okay.
to make sure everyone's on the same page and the project moves smoothly
Right.
from the initial design phase all the way to production.
So you're not just like alone in a cubicle.
Right. You're a vital part of a dynamic team,
Yeah.
bringing all these different perspectives together.
Okay, awesome. And one thing we haven't touched on yet is how technology is constantly changing this field.
Yes.
What are some of the big advancements that are kind of shaping the world of drafting these days?
Well, we've already talked about 3D modeling,
Right.
powerful CAD programs like AutoCAD, SolidWorks, and CATIA.
Mhm.
But it goes even further.
Okay.
There's building information modeling, or BIM, which creates incredibly detailed virtual models of entire buildings or systems.
Wow.
And then there's the growing role of automation and AI,
Right.
which are really streamlining a lot of the drafting process.
So I know what some people might be thinking.
What's up?
Is AI going to replace mechanical engineering drafters altogether?
That's a valid question, and it comes up a lot.
Yeah.
But I think it's more about AI enhancing the role of the drafter
Okay.
rather than replacing them.
Right.
Think of it as a powerful tool that can
Right.
help you work more efficiently and focus on the more creative and complex aspects of design.
So it's not about fearing the robots. It's about learning to work alongside them.
Exactly. Embracing new technologies and integrating them into your workflow is key to staying ahead of the curve.
I love that.
And, speaking of adapting, let's touch on something we haven't talked about directly yet. Work-life balance.
Oh, yeah. That's so important in any job.
It's a hot topic, and
Right.
rightfully so. You need to find that sweet spot
Right.
between giving your all to your work and making sure you have time for yourself
Yeah.
and the things that matter outside of work.
It's so easy to get caught up in a project and burn yourself out,
It is.
but that doesn't help anyone.
Exactly.
So how do you make sure you maintain that balance?
Well, setting boundaries,
Right.
prioritizing tasks, knowing when to delegate.
Yeah.
These are all essential skills for a mechanical drafter, not just for career success,
Right.
but for maintaining that healthy work-life balance.
For sure. And I think it's important to remember that you're not alone in this.
Absolutely.
RoleCatcher even has resources on work-life balance.
That's right.
And their platform lets you connect with other people in your field.
Yeah.
So you can kind of share tips and strategies and just support each other.
Exactly. Finding that balance is a journey, and it looks different for everyone.
For sure.
It's about figuring out what works best for you.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of the mechanical engineering drafter,
Yeah.
what's the one key takeaway?
For me, it's about remembering that this is more than just a job. It's a craft. You're not just drawing lines.
Yeah.
You're bringing ideas to life. You're turning concepts into reality.
Right.
And in a world increasingly driven by innovation and technology, it's a pretty powerful place to be.
I love that. And with a little help from RoleCatcher's resources, including their incredible AI,
Yeah.
you'll be well on your way to not just acing that interview, but building a fulfilling and in-demand career.
We're cheering you on. Good luck out there.